guess a couple days after I finished that last video, I was going to come out that day and start getting the transmission out of this donor truck here. But it started raining, like pouring. And then it started doing all this blizzardy stuff, so I don't want to wait any longer, so I'm just going to start cutting it. I got the torches out here. This happened because of rust. So I'm just going to cut the leaf springs off so they're out of the way. This truck needs to go to the junkyard. And then I'm going to cut the frame right there and there, so the front end is out of the way. And then I'll probably tip this cab up on its side or upside down and cut the cross members for that transmission. Pretty sure that's a 4L60. We're going to try to get that so we can put it in the square body. Couple of catalytic converters on there. Gonna save some money on this section of the build, or make some anyways. I guess I'll get you in here. She's all free. This thing is so destroyed. It almost fell on you. You see the problem here? I thought this could be an issue. I wasn't sure which side the transfer case was dropped on, but it definitely drops on the driver's side, and the front diff is on the passenger side. Transfer case off. Got the cross member off. if I can devise a way to get the fluid out of it without putting it all over the floor. It did have some moisture in it, but it's not like the pan was full and it got into the valve body, so I think we're in good shape here as far as being able to use this. Last time we were talking about the transfer case being wrong side drop. The truck, the square body, has a right side drop, passenger side. And this thing was opposite of that. It was down on the driver's side. Not that big of a deal. I knew there was options. The best option is a 241C transfer case out of like a 90, 91 Suburban or a Blazer. It's got the same bolt pattern as the original adapter for this 4L60. So I found one, a 241C, so I'm gonna take this adapter off, take it with me when I go look at it immediately, and as long as it bolts on there, we can move on to the next step. So I'm just gonna put this right in the bucket like the transmission yesterday. It's just trying to pour out of the bottom anyways. Get out of there already, for crying out loud. I'll see you back in a few minutes, hopefully with some good news. Well, we're back at the shop. My little transfer case pilgrimage did not go as I hoped. I needed a passenger side drop, 241. The Joker that had it, it was upside down. So it was technically showing that it was passenger side. But once you put it upright, it was just a regular old driver's side drop. Oh yeah, it's not today anymore. That was yesterday. Today is tomorrow. Because I brought this truck back in from the cold so it could thaw out. This truck has, so this is the body that I'm gonna put on here. I have rust repair to do to it before that happens, but I'm ready to tear it down. This truck has a 208 transfer case in it, which does work with the 4L60 and its adapter. So I'm gonna tear the front clip off of this today so we can get after the rust repair on the fenders. Then I'm gonna take the transfer case out of it and see if the splines are a match for the 4L60. Got the adapter. The hardware kit came a little bit later. So that is gonna go on there. This transfer case is a transfer case out of that truck. I took it out after I was done taking the front clip off. I'm not sure if taking the front clip off is going to be in the same video as this or not. So long story short, I took the front clip off, and then I took this transfer case out. That truck has a 465 4-speed manual in it. So this transfer case is a 208. It's 32 spline. It eats that output shaft for lunch. It's 27 spline. 208 was behind the turbo 350. It's 27 spline. So I got that draining the fluid out. Well, the rest of the fluid, I took it off the TH350 adapter and puked all over. just for kicks and giggles. There she is. Changing it up here. I was gonna bolt that on there and bolt that on there and put it all in there. I don't think I want to try to manhandle all that. So I'm gonna put the adapter on the engine now, put the engine back in, and then put these on individually. So I can do that probably by myself. I did some test fitting. I fit this onto the transmission, which was a good thing because the locating dowels, they were lined up good, but the one didn't want to go in the hole for some reason. So I had to work the inside of it a little bit. I was reading the recommended procedures to go through the installation here. Installation tips, that's what it is. It says, okay, so when you do the Chevy conversion to go on this Cummins, it switches the starter from that side to this side. The Cummins starter will not work. GM starter, you know, ain't gonna work. It says to use an 03 to 06 6-liter Ford diesel starter, at which point the starter nose needs to be clearanced because it sticks in too far. The other starter they recommend 7 to 10, 2007 to 2010, 6.4 Power Stroke starter. That one does not protrude into the transmission too far. It's got plenty of clearance there, but it must be bigger around. So it says the engine block oil pan rail, clearance it 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. So I'm guessing right here, this sticks out a lot past the edge of the oil pan. Probably at this point, probably more than an inch, but there's a bolt hole right there. So I think you can take all the 3/4 and it'll get less as you go back. So I'm gonna wind up cutting that with a cutting wheel. Okay, I literally got that lucky. I got lucky. And I got that thing cut as close as you can get it. It didn't hit the oil pan, but it is damn close. I took a 5/8 reamer, went in a little bit on this side and in a little bit on the other side, just to open up the fore and aft ends of this hole without disrupting the structure, so the bolt can do its deal. This is our problem child. Got it. That worked out good. As long as it doesn't offset any of the other ones. Good deal. That was a minimal amount of time. So that hole was out just a hair. Where are they at? Installation tips. These are not instructions, they're installation tips, okay? It says to tighten them down to torque specs. Doesn't give you any torque specs. Keep this thing polished, all right? Because it won't ever get dirty. I took this around there. Just finished up wiping all the mating surface for this side down. It's necessary. Try to pull down. Yeah.
See, I just don't have enough muscle.
Okay. The new bolts are way longer. They're gonna bottom out. Don't waste your money on the new bolts because they're too long. They bottom out. Original transmission bolts that hold this 4L60 on the back of the Chevy engine do not fit in this adapter. So do yourself a favor and order the freaking bolts that they offer with the adapter. Okay, what I found, this is just gonna be temporary because they're probably a little bit short, but the bolts that they threaded the adapter for, you can't use the original transmission bolts. They're not the same size. The bolts that hold the transfer case on, however, are the same size, thread wise. They should be a little bit longer maybe. Okay, I got one out of my bolt bin. That's probably the right length. I'm just gonna mock this up with these bolts because it's kind of late in the day. I think the hardware store's closed, but I'll get these on there. I'll put the transfer case on, and then I'll take one of these bolts down and make sure I got all the right length ones. In the morning. Battery's dead. This day, I'm telling you. Okay. Come on, they're getting heavy. Whew. All right, there you have it. Got the 12 valve, got the adapter plate, got the 4L60E, got my 208 transfer case. It's all bolted up, mated nicely. I still got to get actual bolts that go in the motor mounts. A little bit of information. The original bolts that hold the transmission onto the Chevy engine will not fit in here. They're different threads. The bolts that hold the transfer case on are the same as this. Probably want them a 1/2 inch longer than these are to go in there. If you have the removable bell housing on a 4L60 and you're trying to do this setup, you have what is called a 300 millimeter torque converter. And the flex plate that Summit provides with this adapter won't accept that 300 millimeter torque converter. Diesel conversion specialists, DCS, offer a flex plate that'll let that 300 millimeter torque converter that comes in the removable bell housing 4L60Es bolt up. Well, the battery died, so with all of that garbage said, I'm going to try to piece together a closing for this video. My heater quit, it ran out of fuel, so I've been out here working in the cold, so my nose is probably running, probably got boogers all over my face. Long story short, finally. I don't know where we're going from here. I'm going to bang my head on the wall for a couple of days to get over all the nonsense I had to do getting this together. But I think it's going to have something to do with, you know, tearing that apart, getting ready for rust repair. Next time we see this, whether it's working on this or doing the body work, we'll have a cross member in there. So there's a jack stand holding up basically the whole unit. So, all right. I'll have more information on this whole setup down the road, or maybe I'll try to plug it in here at the end, some of the finer details. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's something you can, any information you can give me on doing something like this. I'm just winging it, shooting through the dark here, shooting from the hip. Again, more rambling. I just can't stop. See you next time.